Good morning, folks. Chris McCraw, Mercury out here, getting ready to go deliver some essential resources to a project that I'm working on. Last night, I agreed to provide containers for a fundraising event that we're having locally to try to cover the expenses, medical expenses that one of the community, this person is not a part of Happy Camp Republic. So this is something that I'm doing, an outreach program, and this is how RBE is going to happen. It's not going to happen because I offer that can for monetary consideration. I have that resource, and I can make that resource available without any monetary consideration. And most would call this philanthropy, charity, and we could run all of humanity like that. I mean, sure, there's some things that, that may make acquisition of some resources easier. Money definitely, especially like the US dollar, in the past has been a benchmark for acquisition of resources globally. But now in the global economy, we're seeing that the producers are able to demand their own sovereign currencies as consideration for the value of their property. And I think it's very important that we change the language that we use, because when we start thinking of things as wage, price, just money in general, these are terms that describe a monetary-based economy. So instead of, and by such, the big challenge to a resource-based economy flourishing is the system itself and the language it uses. So I am all for entrepreneurship. This is the only way that we're going to be able to produce an excess, and we don't have to necessarily have that excess. The excess that we produce does not necessarily have to be money. It could be widgets. And there is a demand for widgets in the world. And the people that want widgets have resources available, whether it's their time, as in being able to provide that as consideration for some kind of product, good, or service, or and that does not necessarily mean that it has value. For instance, I may say, I need my yard cleaned up, and that job may take 40 hours worth of work, but all I have is this computer to offer as consideration. So it's rather subjective. The person that puts the 40 hours into that job, they may think that this computer is almost priceless because they are unable to acquire this because they don't have a job. Okay? So they have 40 hours of time, and they could get that done reasonably, within a few days. And so what is the value of their labor? Is it the monetary value of this computer? I say no, because in a taxation sense, and this is the destruction of any kind of alternative means, is they try to say that it has a monetary value. Well, if I'm willing to give it away, Does that necessarily mean that it has monetary value? I mean, I'm not going to get a receipt for my donation because I don't participate in the monetary taxation scheme. So I'm able to just provide this thing, and I don't need a receipt. I don't need to be compensated or anything for that. So I don't know. It's just these are rather important things. I mean, and we really need to, like I said, change the language, because if we're talking in the banker's language, we become suspect and culpable to their laws, which they use to destroy any begrudging, any flourishing system. So we really need to start talking in different terms so we can, so we can get the things that we need. And I think that's really key, because really a resource-based economy isn't, so much a system or anything like the monetary system is. It's more of a mindset. If you believe, and this is true, because if you go through life and you think that you need money to live, then that is the paradigm you're going to live under. However, if you believe that the world is full of abundance and you open your mind to alternate methods of trying to get that, that does not create a wage, does not create income, and the value that is created is totally subjective. So some kind of court or the government coming in and putting some kind of arbitrary value in some currency, I don't believe that a court is going to a court may try to penalize you, but when it goes to the jury, for this transaction that I proposed, the computer to get my yard cleaned up, I don't think they would see that as tax dodging. I don't think they would see that as creating income. I don't think that, so like I said, we need to really start thinking about the terms that we use and what we're doing in our daily lives, so we can start sharing this RBE principle with more people, trying to get them involved in some way. And I don't think it would take 2 to 4 generations to get this done. It could happen just like that if we were allowed to do it. And that comes in with anarchism, volunteerism, civil disobedience. I mean, just because the IRS thinks that I'm making income, well, they're going to have to prove that in a court of law. And if I don't have any association with the monetary system, I don't have a bank account, I'm not accepting dollars, etc., etc., it's going to be it's totally subjective. And like I said, they have to prove that in a court of law to get any kind of conviction. So, and not only that, but the bankers' money, they can yank that around. They can confiscate that from you. They're not going to. I'm not saying the IRS wouldn't confiscate all my property and try to get rid of it for money. They'll be able to do that. But just because I have this computer, that does not mean that it's it's an absolute. It has an absolute value. Like I said, it's totally subjective, and we need to try to strategize how we conduct our business, the language we use, so we are not a target for the bankers. I mean, obviously we're going to be a target because we're not using their money. But we got to try to armor ourselves like this and our psyche to promote the resource-based economy as a viable socioeconomic system. Anyway, this is Chris McCraw. I'm Mercury. Just commenting on what's going on with the resource-based economy here in beautiful Happy Camp, California. Thank you very much. Have a great day.